Now, 7 years ago, if you wanted to find out anything about the weather, you would have had to hang out outside Mausam Bhavan or get in touch with the Indian Met Department. But things have changed. In 2003, a young entrepreneur decided to cash in on the opportunity and launched Skymet, India's first and only private weather forecasting company. Here's his story. For 32-year-old Jatin Singh, turning entrepreneur meant weathering off competition from the government. He decided to do what the Indian Met Department has been doing for decades, forecasting the unpredictable weather. So in 2003, he launched Skymet, India's first and only private weather forecasting firm. Collecting data from the global telecommunication systems, Jatin provides weather derivatives and solutions that enable media, power, shipping, agriculture and telecom companies to plan better. But why did Jatin, a journalist, decide to bet on the weather?
I was working for one of the major news channels in Delhi, national news channels, and I had an editor who was always tirelessly looking for good meteorological information, and he was not very happy with whatever access he had to the national agencies. So, and my father was a contractor to the Indian Met setup, selling computers, softwares and things. So I kind of knew my way around there, knew some people there, and I would help facilitate that. And then he gave me the idea that why don't you turn it into a business? There is a need in media, and why don't you work on it? And I said okay, and I just made an offer to another news channel, and they bought it. This was when a lot of these news channels were coming up in the second wave in 2003, and never looked back since. One television channel, then the newspaper business, then more television networks, then power companies started coming in once graphics were in the newspapers, insurance started coming in, then the ball just started rolling.
It sure did. Helping out farmers like Sanjay, Jatin today reaches out to the agri community using the mobile phone. Skymet's clients include Nokia Live Tools, Reuters Market Live and BASF Agrochemicals. The mobile value-added services product costs 60 rupees every month, where farmers receive daily updates on temperature, rain forecast and humidity for up to a week. With the ability to provide AgroMet forecasts for more than 6,500 pin codes in India, Jatin claims the opportunity is worth 100 crore rupees today, with the power sector being a key consumer of Skymet's content.
From an energy perspective, it is the trading that gets affected. We have a bilateral power market, we have an energy exchange. They require, if a utility or a power generator is able to find out what is the amount of power that a city will need, then only that kind of power will be generated and only that kind of power will be sold or bought, depending on who is on which side of the trade. Accounting for weather is a crucial part of this business. If the city becomes too hot, you do not have enough power, then you end up paying what is called unscheduled interchange charges, that you buy the same power at a higher rate. So if you can forecast at a distance effectively, you will only consume or produce the amount of power that is needed. So it makes the whole market efficient, and actually also reduces carbon footprint by bringing in that efficiency. From a renewable energy perspective, we work with wind farms. The idea is that I think there is a new CRC regulation that they're supposed to forecast their production in about to about 30%. We give higher accuracies. Once, if you're trading, wind is considered to be infirm power. So the problem is wind is not tangible. It cannot be stored like coal. So the only way to make a judgment, should I buy from this farm or not in the next couple of days, is by actually forecasting the kind of wind that will be in that region. And that is what we do, and enable the trader to make that decision. Then in shipping, we allow mostly Indian shipping companies in their navigation in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. If there is a cyclone, what is a probable cyclone track? We also do ship routing services for across the world. And for media, we provide graphics, weather information, sound bites to various TV networks and newspapers and radio from time to time.
Starting up with investments of 18 lakh rupees 7 years ago, Skymet grossed a turnover of 2 crore rupees in FY10. This weather wizard is now betting big on the rural economy with his innovation. With more than 40% of the agrarian economy dependent on the monsoons and 3 million mobile connections added every month in rural India, Jatin believes this segment of the market will be the next big demand driver.
We are very seriously looking, and the business is growing from a farmer and telecom perspective. The technology works. The workflow is settled. We've had clients for over a year, big clients, and now we want more and more clients to be loaded onto that base. And we really want to get to the Indian farmer, but we don't do that directly because that to reach hundreds of millions of people over telecom is a different business. Creating weather forecasts for them is a different business. So we want to concentrate purely on technology at this point in time and have various users of it. And actually let the farmers all across India feel that difference of getting something on their phone that works. So that is one thing we're looking at. For energy, we're really looking at long range. You see, what is happening is in the power business right now, a lot of merchant power producers have come who do not have fixed purchase power agreements. They're really looking at placing flexible bets. And they're looking at long range, 20 days, 30 days, 4 months. We've worked on technology, we've had few issues, we've fixed them, and this monsoon of 2010 is actually the true test. We have a reasonable guess for each month up till October. And if it pans out the way we think it's going to pan out, then post-October we should have very good business in that sector.
Chosen by The Economist among the top 10 companies with solutions for climate change in 2009 for the energy sector, we asked Jatin what's in store from the weather gods this coming monsoon.
That's a very tricky question, and I'm telling you from a May perspective. We think that you're looking at 95% of normal, which would be about minus 5%, which is pretty decent because last year it was minus 23%. Our guess is that there could be some hiccups in July, and that is what we're looking at as if this monsoon poses any kind of challenge. I would look for it in July anyway. These things change for every 15-20 days or so from the inputs that we have right now in our computing. That's where we stand.